welcome everybody. This is Inside the Booth. This is our Rumble review. Sorry, everybody, we're having technical difficulties. People are doing dishes, but we're getting it done.
Yes,
Sorry,
it's
we're
real.
late. That's right, real
That's right.
time.
Real life.
It's real time. Multitasking. Anybody else need their dishes done?
Here,
Just
I'll
saying.
send mine over to you. Can you zoop? Can you get that?
That's DIY.
Wait.
Here, watch this one for me.
Hold on.
Watch
Okay.
it. You ready?
Go ahead.
Oh no! I tried so hard.
Thank
you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank
Now
you.
I will do the dishes.
Oh.
What is this place? What is it that you do here? Merchandising. Merchandising! Where the real money from the movie is made. Oh, it's beautiful.
So we did Braveheart, The Patriot, and Maverick.
Maverick.
Almost forgot the name of it. I was going to say
Let's start
Melojack.
start with Maverick.
Start with Maverick. Okay.
Yeah. No, just
Oh, and given that it's what did you guys say it was again? Man month, man flicks. Is that what?
Man
Yeah.
flicks.
Man, but
Right.
Manflix. Man.
You know,
Yep.
so I would just say out of the graciousness of my female heart, I think it'd be great if the guys went first.
okay.
Thanks. Appreciate
Alright.
Right.
that.
We'll let the gentleman go
man.
first this time. I'm nice like that.
Well, thank you.
Oh, good.
As if it's my channel.
Well, it seems like you just took over, so.
Yeah.
Darn it,
Inside-
it's feminism.
Inside the Booth, starring Dreaming Tabitha.
That's right. Who knows?
That's
Okay.
right. My milkshake brings the boys to the yard. So
Well, as long as you bring in some subscriptions, we're good.
oh, I see how it is. Oh.
Oh, man. Just kidding.
Sure.
Okay, so if you're new to our Rumbles, this is how it works. Well, it's now going to start like this. Each person gets 3 minutes. Each movie's a round. And during the person's 3 minutes, other people can jump in and beat us up about what we think about the movie. So that's the whole gist. Everybody good? Good.
Good. Just don't hit the face. It's
Okay.
too
The moneymaker.
beautiful.
Yeah, well, my brother's moneymaker. Anyways.
Some people
Thanks,
have a
Rosie.
thing for feet. So it doesn't matter what your face looks like these days. I'm
Nice.
just saying. And that's no reflection on you, Dan. I'm just trying to make a point.
Chime you in.
All right.
Ding,
3,
ding.
2, 1.
All right, so the movie's Maverick from 1994 with Mel Gibson
Mhm.
and James Garner, right?
Yep.
So,
Love it.
one, I was just amazed that it said PG. The movie said PG. There was nothing PG about that movie.
In 1994.
Different people for the
Maybe.
ratings.
I'm like,
Parents back then.
I will not let my kids watch this movie. I don't care if it says G. So,
It has a lot of innuendos, yes.
not just that, all the cussing that goes on in there.
Yeah, that too.
But the only thing they didn't do is drop an F-bomb. So, I
that
guess
we know of.
that's true.
Could be in the extended cut.
Maybe.
Thanks, Phil.
What
Oh, he's so sweet.
so anyway, so the whole movie I thought was good. It's a Richard Donner film. If you like Richard Donner as an director, you'll like the Maverick or Maverick, whatever it's called. If you like Mel Gibson, you're going to like this movie. It's more of a comedic role. And I think Maverick actually tests the time. There's a nice scene in there because I know we were flipping around talking about what other Mel Gibson movie we should do. And Matthew was like, let's do Lethal Weapon. And we're like, yeah. And then we changed our mind. And he's like, what? Why didn't you do Lethal Weapon? But did you know in Maverick, because I believe Richard Donner did Lethal Weapon, they have Danny Glover in a cameo appearance.
That's right.
With Mel Gibson.
That was cool.
And they're looking at each other like, huh?
Yeah, like, we know each other.
Where do I know you from?
That's good.
Huh? And then
of course he made
line,
the
famous line at the end. I'm getting too old for this.
That's right. Stop. That's right. That was good.
That was the Lethal Weapon moment in the Maverick. It was
That's right.
Rather fun to watch. So if I were to give it overall points, I know we're not doing points, so I'll stop there. Anyways, I thought the movie was great. And apparently you guys have nothing to gripe about, so I'm good.
Yeah,
we're just good listeners, David.
Yeah. Not beating you up right now.
I mean, do you want me to say derogatory things to you?
Well, I mean, not derogatory, but
okay.
I guess.
Negative.
And that's 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, darn. Just when I was coming up with a good quip. Guess I'll get you next time.
You bet.
Thanks, Phil. Phil, thank you. He said we're way more interesting than these guys talking about Lord of the Rings.
All right.
Who's?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have those. Yep.
Nice. I go next. Okay. Start.
We'll zigzag it.
Nice.
Zigzag it.
It's like tic-tac-toe.
Gotta get my notes. All right, Maverick, 94 film, directed by Richard Donner, who also did Lethal Weapon, The Goonies, and Superman.
Oh, see?
It's a man.
Lethal Weapon.
Man trying to find money to get on board a boat to play poker in a contest and win a crap load of cash. He plays the part of a nice guy and also a hustler. He meets Annabelle, played by Jodie Foster. The two hit it off pretty well. But she is also a greedy person trying to get on the boat to hopefully win the said cash. The two like each other, but both don't trust each other because their end goal is just money. I thought the film was a cat and mouse film about getting money to get even more money. So it was a bleh movie, in my opinion. I thought it was meh.
How dare you?
Out of all three of these, out of all three of these movies, I thought it was the least.
You didn't like this movie? What is wrong with you?
I did not like the film at all.
Oh, good. We got something to beat up on.
There's a father-son dynamic here too. Come on.
That you don't see until the very, very end and be like, oh, okay, that's those guys. That's nice. I thought it wasn't great at all.
I thought it was pretty obvious.
The only part I will say, the part on the boat was the most interesting out of the entire film. I thought the rest was just running about different areas and trying to get the money to go on the boat. And then when it happens, it was awesome. And then it ends.
That was fun. I mean, look, that Indian scene with the Indians. That was
awesome.
Freaking awesome, man.
Tabitha, just
I'd like to read the screenplay. The screenplay probably was just funny. If I had to give it 1 out of 10, I would probably give it a 4 out of 10. That's right. Oh yes, I went there.
Not even a 0.5. No, just a solid
come on.
4.
Nope, not a fan of the film out of the 3 that we're doing.
Man, oh man. This movie was like the best.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far.
It doesn't. Well, if you guys remember, I mean, you guys sound like you have a nostalgic thing about it. I do not. I didn't see it back.
Yeah, that's true. Your first time watching was like.
I was looking at it as technical details, and I was not really impressed. Mel Gibson did much better films than this one.
Well, you do know. Wait, hold on. You do know that this movie was before Braveheart.
Yeah,
so
1994. Come on.
Yeah,
of course he got better.
I wasn't impressed.
Hello. You know what?
Wasn't impressed.
That's okay. We still love you. We still forgive you. You could still be
I-
here.
What?
Hey, he doesn't speak for me, Matthews. I'm just saying.
Okay, good.
Let me think about
Even-
this.
Even Dreaming Tabitha says it was a decent movie. Come on.
I haven't said that yet either, but
Oh well, that's true. But still, I mean, you're.
I mean,
I
just
am
for
advocating.
Mel Gibson's acting was good, and the boat scene was good, and that's why I get the 4 out of 10.
When they're
Hey.
doing.
Come on. How about the
gambling.
scene, the very beginning scene where he's on the horse tied up with a noose? That was memorable.
That was good.
It's a cliche
it's in
moment
every
in film
Western.
history. Yeah,
Yeah, and
it's a cliche,
he's like,
for sure.
oh man.
I love it. I'm glad you had a different point of view. It's
Yeah.
nice.
Mhm.
you don't sound
I think that's
convincing,
3
David.
minutes.
But
Hey, that's okay.
I love it. I'm glad you had a different point of view.
Robot.
Okay.
So sarcastic.
Robot chicken. Robot chicken.
All right. Is it my turn yet?
Yep.
Sure.
3,
I'm gonna-
2, 1, go.
3, 2, 1, go. Okay. So this movie I thought was pretty darn good. I loved it. You know, I like the father-son dynamic, even though you don't know it until the end of the movie. I mean, by the way, spoilers if you haven't seen this movie. Too late. Sorry.
Sorry.
That's okay. We'll just tell you here now. You can save your time.
But I love the parts where he's like, you know, the father's, you know, like kind of stays out of the way, but then when Mel Gibson's really in trouble, he kind of comes up and is like, you need help? Can I help you? What's going on? And, you know, and and Mel Gibson does like he lets him help a little bit, which I thought was pretty nice. I like in the beginning, his first gambling game where he's like, I don't what does he
Hustling
say?
everybody.
Yeah, he's hustling everybody.
Yeah.
I'll lose for the first hour. I don't cheat. I don't lie, and I hardly ever bluff. So
Right.
he hardly ever bluffs.
Right. Technicality there.
Yep. And then you know, and then that one gunslinger there was like, "Hey, I don't think
Right.
that should count." And he's like, whoa." And I like how fast he drew his gun, you know. I like Western movies. I'm a big Western fan, so this movie is a Western type movie for me, so I just love it.
It's not a classic Western.
It might not be a classic, but it's a
I mean,
classic
you're
for
going
me.
up against Tombstone, Fistful of Dollars, all those films. I mean, it doesn't even come close.
Cowboys
to
versus
Okay.
aliens.
Right. I mean, even the Hateful Eight was better than that film.
Yeah. Well, you know, but
And that's a new one.
Hateful Eight.
This wasn't really a real Western, though. It was just like it took,
Right, it's a comedy.
took place
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that time period, you know.
Wait,
in
wait,
the
really
1800s.
quickly. What classifies a film as a Western if it's not taking place out in the West with cowboys?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question.
That is.
Well, the roughness, the big sceneries need to last longer. The better directors doing it.
That's what constitutes a
you have to-
Western.
Clint Eastwood, any Clint Eastwood films is considered classic Western films.
Yeah, but they're a little bit older too.
Well, those are the originals, and they're the best.
So you're just saying Richard Donner sucks at being a filmmaker?
As
Well, you know, back in the
as a
60s
Western filmmaker, yes.
Well, did you know the father who played in the movie back in the 60s? He was Maverick in the TV show. So,
Yes.
Mhm. That's giving an homage
is that
to
still
it. That's
considered a classic then now, or what? I mean,
no, not at all. He's just there.
He's just
He's just there getting a paycheck.
It sounds like
Well,
if
maybe-
only
maybe I
Clint
guess we
Eastwood
gotta
had made a
watch
cameo
those TV
appearance,
shows.
then it
That's
would have
right.
been
I will
Western.
say,
that's right.
My-
Clint Eastwood should have made a
That's the
cameo
staple.
experience. But this was a good movie. I liked it. I laughed. I you know,
Did you cry?
I didn't cry, no.
Oh.
But
I laughed until I cried.
yeah, there you go.
I mean,
But
if you
yeah,
want to see
you
the
know.
best Western film, see Once Upon a Time in the West. That is probably the quintessential Western film of all time, in my opinion. That is 10 out of 10.
Gotcha.
Like the timing, the writing, the cinematography, everything about it is the best.
I think the cinematography still holds up in this movie, though. It was good, you know.
It was all right.
And the practical effects hold up. I love the Indian scenes. Those are my favorite.
They're called Native Americans.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I'm sorry.
They're known as the indigenous fauna. No, that's animals. No, indigenous people. I'm sorry. Sorry. Wrong word. No,
I'm not too fancy with my words, so I'm sorry, everybody.
I'm sorry. I'm pretty fancy.
That's true.
I like words like hexagonal, you know, all that.
Whoa.
The hexagonal.
I don't even know what that means.
Is Dan's 3 minutes up?
Yeah.
Yep.
It must be. Yep. It must be. I wasn't paying attention.
All right. Tabitha's 3 minutes.
All right. So I can't say like it's my favorite. Apparently non-Western, if we're gonna go that route. But I enjoyed it immensely. I laughed so hard on 2 scenes specifically. But first off, to me, this movie was basically a big step up from John Wayne's McClintock and a big step down from Blazing Saddles. Like it just kind of merged in the middle, and I loved that.
I agree with that.
I loved that
assessment.
Yes, Blazing Saddles is a really good movie.
And I think it's just the fact that, yeah, like I think I get where Matthew's saying, like, as far as a Western, you know, usually Westerns are not funny. They're a lot more intense and everything like that. I mean, this was basically a comedy parody Western, and kind of the way that Blazing Saddles is. Like when you think of Blazing Saddles, you're not going to say it's a Western. You're going to say it's a comedy. So I think that's kind of where that would fall in. But I have to say, my first scene, the first scene that I laughed so hard on was when they were going to go get the money back from the people that had stolen from the wagon train. And Jodie Foster and James Garner are hiding behind the rocks and the trees. And Mel Gibson's character, Maverick's like, there's like a whole bunch of them there. And he's like, something like, can't you hear them whistling or whatever like that? And they're all like,
you can't, somebody.
And the reason I laughed so hard is because I totally can relate. Like I cannot whistle.
he's like, is another wheel coming off? If you can't whistle, clap then.
Right, exactly. Because I was like, that is so me. That would be me. It's just like trying so hard, and like it's such an intense scene. So I laughed at that because it was relatable, and it was totally unexpected. Like this movie, what I liked about it, I have no nostalgia with this film. I didn't know it existed, to be honest, until Dan had told me about it. So I went into this with fresh eyes, no expectations. And so I didn't know that it was supposed to be funny. So when the first few things started popping up, I just thought, well, maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure how this film is going to turn out. And then I started slowly seeing the progression. And then the other scene that was absolutely my favorite, and I don't know if this is appropriate to say or not, but it's one of those things that I like. Oh, this is going to sound really terrible. Okay, please don't misunderstand me, especially in the comment section when I say this. But I like films that can make fun of other cultures, you know, equally, and just laugh about our shortcomings, no matter what we look like, right? So that scene when he's with the Native Americans and the guy, I forget what his name is, the actor, but when he starts speaking like any other American, and he just talks like. He's like, this is a beautiful place. He's like, yeah, I know. We sure know how to pick a spot. And he's like, yeah, it's beautiful. He's like, well, you white people keep stealing all of our treasured areas. I guess next time we'll just settle in a swamp. And I was like, yeah, you know, I mean, it's just one of those things, making fun of dark portions of history. I get that. Like, I think that's funny. I think that's one reason why I enjoyed Blazing Saddles so much. She just kind of makes fun of this. Yeah, so I just thought that scene was really, really funny. Just to summarize, I thought it was an enjoyable movie for a good laugh. You know, it's not necessarily something I'm going to stick on my shelf and prize and buy merch from, but I enjoyed it as a funny film. Oh, I'm glad to see in the comments that I'm not the only person that enjoys I don't know, how would you say this? Racial slur films, like, you know, it just, you know, yeah.
We find a way to laugh at ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. We kind of laugh at our shortcomings, and we forgive one another, and we just exist together and make fun of each other, you know, like,
yes,
not in a hateful way, just,
you
know.
Yeah, that's why I like Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr so much as comedians. They do a lot of that.
Or Gene Wilder.
Or Gene, yeah, of course.
Braveheart.
Braveheart. Okay.
And go.
Yes.
All right. Braveheart, which is the next movie that he did a year later in 1995.
That's right.
Directed and starred in Mel Gibson with his own Icon Productions. By the way, did you see Icon Productions also was involved with Maverick? But he changed the logo when he did the new his.
Hey,
Braveheart
don't point
movie.
your finger at me. No such aggression here.
So yeah.
What's up, Dave White?
What's up, Whitey? He's the white guy. Oh, hey, Uncle Mike.
Uncle Mike's son. Uncle Mike.
Anyway,
what up?
He's the biggest fan of Inside the Booth. Y'all
right.
recognize.
We have a video about that.
That's right. Better go watch it.
A couple weeks before this one.
Anyways, yeah. Braveheart. What can I say? It's the greatest.
We don't know.
Movie.
You won't tell us.
I know. I won't because I'm so.
Start that 3 minutes over. Come on, let's go.
You can't start it over. It's okay. I'm speechless of how awesome this movie is. Like,
it is a great movie.
It has blood, guts. It has love.
Severed heads.
Part of guts and blood, right?
Yeah, that is part of
severed limbs.
Describe it. Yeah, there you go.
Severed limbs, and it has, you know, eating around campfires.
Yes, that's the best.
Irishmen coming in. That says Ireland is his island, so not to worry.
That guy's the best.
They will. Stephen, yes.
Yeah, he just goes crazy. I love it.
Stephen is awesome.
The fact that this movie is great because it has campfires in it.
Yes.
Right? And there is comedy in this movie, even though it's a serious movie. Which I love.
Okay, so, and, you know, the story is just phenomenal. It's about a man who, you know, lost his family, and he goes away with his uncle. He gets educated, comes back to start a family, right? and it goes on from there. Like, he wants to have a family. What's wrong with that? And be free, huh?
And 3 minutes.
Free. That's the main thing, right?
Freedom.
It's like the vaguest description of any film. Like, this is a groundbreaking film, and he's like, there were campfires and blood, and it's about a guy who goes on an adventure. It's like
that's right.
Describing about 50% of all movies. I'm sorry.
I know my 3 minutes are up, so I will stop. But I still love the movie. It's the best ever.
It is a really.
It's a truly man's Western. What?
It's a man's Western? No.
Man's freedom movie.
Well, I mean,
it's man's movie.
Technically a Western if you live in Pakistan.
No, it's truly a man's chick flick. It's a man's chick flick.
You mean a man flick?
It is a man flick, but because you got romance in it, so it's.
There you go. It's
got the chick flick in it, so it's
the chick flick.
Are not about romance. I think you're totally missing what a chick flick is.
I don't know. Chick flicks kind of bored me.
They're kind of like romance comedies, right?
Rom-coms. I mean, chick flicks are like Miss Congeniality. Yeah, there's some romance in it, but it's really not about the romance.
Gotcha.
I guess that's one of the many lies I've grown to believe about chick flicks.
Yes, it's about like I don't know, girl stuff. You just sort of relatable girl stuff.
Well, this movie is a relatable man stuff.
That's right.
What are you trying to say? Women can't sit around campfires, shed some blood, show off their hiney's to the enemy?
I don't know. And there
I don't recommend doing that, but
and there are other parts they show off in front of their enemies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. It's not like women couldn't do that either.
Listen, they had manly talk during campfires about sticks.
Talk about.
You make it sound like Neanderthals.
Some men are longer than others.
Boys.
Your mother's been telling you stories about me again, huh? One of my favorite scenes. Sorry, it was. All right. So, who's next?
Well, I don't know if anybody can top David's description of this miraculous film.
That's true. I think it's the best.
I think it's Matthew's turn, right?
I think if Matthew were to use any other adjectives, he would win this conversation.
Oh boy.
Not that it's a contest.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Matthew, your turn.
All right. So Braveheart 1995, directed by Mel Gibson, and also won Best Picture of the Year. There are a lot of memorable quotes in this that I actually wrote down. Just say a few. The common man that bleeds on the battlefield, does he risk less? We all end up dead. It's just a question of how and why. Now tell me, what does that mean to be noble? Your title gives you claim to be to the throne of your country, but men don't follow titles. They follow courage. Our people know you. Noble and common, they respect you. And if you just lead them to freedom, they'd follow you. Probably the best line in the entire film.
See, that's why that makes it a good man's movie right there. Courage.
That's right, courage.
Excuse me, have you ever heard of Joan of Arc? I don't think so.
Yes, I have, but I didn't watch it.
And Kill Bill.
Read the book.
Come on.
You want me to
read? You didn't see that episode of Wishbone?
Where'd that come from?
I'm not here to read.
I got
enough reading.
I've seen most of the Wishbone. I don't remember that.
Of course not. It's a misogynistic. I'm just kidding.
Matthew,
so,
wait.
So it has a great backstory of him growing up, losing his family members. We see a law passes which gave the noblemen the right to fornicate married men's wives, which the king thought would drive them away from their land. But uprising obviously occurs because of the unjust laws from the king. Tyranny and betrayal is a major theme throughout the film, even his own kinfolk.
It's a great movie.
Wallace believes without a doubt his conviction for freedom, no matter the cost, even to the death. And that's what obviously rumbles in my rumbles in my soul is like, yeah, no matter what the cost, you always go for freedom.
That's right.
No matter the cost.
Did you hear that, Biden?
I thought you told me we don't get political on this show.
Well, it slips up once in a while.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I was just throwing that out there.
Oh,
well, he just said a name. I mean,
yeah, that's right.
Right. You don't know which Biden he was talking about. It could have been Jill.
That's right.
Yeah,
Uncle Joe.
Excuse
so
me,
I mean,
doctor.
I don't know if this was his first debut director. I forgot to look that up. But if it was, well done, Mel Gibson, to winning Best Picture of your first director debut film.
This is not his first directed movie. This is the second.
What was it? The second one? Well, still well done for the second film coming out of the gates. Grand slam. Yeah.
Well, Mel Gibson has a thing for telling stories.
Yeah.
Oh, there was another quote that I really liked with the son and the evil dad when he was just like talking back and forth to him. He said, all men betray and lose heart. And then his son says to him, I don't want to lose heart, saying like, I don't want to follow in your generation. I'm going to do something else in my generation. Your generation time failed at what they did. I'm going to continue on and do something else and do something new. So
we need some people like that today.
Yes, right. There's so many quotes in that film that you can like relate today, and you're just like, okay, I think people need to watch this film again.
Well, I mean, whenever you're fighting for freedom, it doesn't matter what generation it is. The theme is always the same. It's like you got to have courage. You have to be willing to sacrifice your luxuries and sometimes even your family in order to have a better future for your country. I mean, it's always the same thing, no matter throughout history. Freedom is, as the saying goes, freedom isn't free.
Yep,
that's right.
So that's good. That's good stuff.
I would
probably give this a 10 out of a 10 film.
Everything Matthew said, I basically said the same thing.
Right. With the fewest amount of words possible. I hear you. Yes. Campfires, men shedding blood, sticks equals exactly what Matthew said.
Well, David, you probably like Conan the Barbarian too. So many classic lines in that.
Conan the Barbarian was a bit much for me.
All right, so my turn now. My turn.
Yep.
All right.
Go.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I love this movie. It's one of my favorite movies. This movie is the reason why I started liking to make films. This was probably, a lot of people said Star Wars New Hope was their go-to movie as a kid, watching a movie and stuff like that. This is my Star Wars New Hope. Braveheart all the way. This movie got me interested in watching movies like Star Wars more.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen these movies before, but this movie got me interested in watching more movies.
I agree.
And I don't know about my brother, but I remember watching all like watching things on the TV of, like how they made the movie or some of the behind the scenes. And that really got my interest. And I'm like, what? We can make movies? Because when you're a kid, you're watching a movie and you're like, well, this must be real in some other universe or something, you're a kid, you don't know much,
Right.
So in this, I was like, this is how movies are made. Man, this caught my interest so much to where I was like, we even got a camcorder as kids and we started filming things. And then I bought my own camcorder, obviously VHS. And, it went from there where I said, man, I want to make movies for a living. I mean, I'm on YouTube now. Hey, but that's okay. This is a
celebration of you.
This is a step in the same kind of going, because it's kind of entertainment, and it's cool. And who knows, eventually maybe we'll be able to make some movies. I got a few scripts already kind of jotted down, not like full on scripts.
Is this 3 minutes up?
Nope.
No.
Oh, sweet. So not full on scripts, but my scripts are like, the outlines are made. That's basically it. And
that's a place to start.
Certain scenes I know I want in the movies. But other than that, if you're a writer, let me know, because let's get together. Help me finish my script.
Wait, she said she is a writer.
Oh, well, that's true.
That's true.
Tabitha, we'll have to talk after this.
Books are different than scripts, but I hope to eventually do some filmmaking as well. So, hey, maybe Jesus just kind of threw us together for some reason. But
huzzah!
Cool.
Hey, Rise of the
Southern accent that you did.
3 minutes. 3 minutes are up.
Well, I have traveled a lot, and I call myself a chameleon. I tend to adapt to whatever accent I am around the most. So, given that I live in the southern of the United States, it was inevitable.
Sweet. You're kind of middle.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's the rise of the indies, for sure. Rise of the indies.
That's right.
It's about time, since Hollywood has let us down so savagely. So
Yep.
They have.
They need to burn to the ground.
These
Hollywood.
old movies is where it's at. I don't know what the heck they're making nowadays, but I love these old films.
Yeah.
Old films. The Chosen. I love The Chosen.
That's not an old film.
Chosen.
I know it's not an old film, but it's an indie.
It's not even a film. It's a
series.
film. It's a TV
It's a
series.
Western.
It doesn't.
It's a Western.
It is a Western. It's
long, dramatic scenes, so that equals Western.
I can't wait for Jesus to have a gun.
Israel.
Could be Brian. We don't know. We don't know. So I guess my turn.
Yeah.
Well, pretty much a lot like what Matthew was saying. There's some really great quotes in this film. You know, of course, all about freedom, but I really love, you know, men don't follow titles, they follow courage. And that is just so true. We can see that kind of like what Matthew was saying. We can see that in our everyday life. There are some people, you know, on YouTube or whatever and Twitter that have smaller followings, but they have enormous hearts and they just have a good personality and they're willing to take on things. And people like them, they follow them. And you can kind of see some of the debates even on Twitter with people that have larger followings getting upset at the smaller people, if you will, that are meeting new people that they wish they could know. And it's just really cool. Like I said, yeah, men don't follow titles, they follow courage. And then, of course, the cinematography is just unreal. And I mean, this film was one among many that actually got me really interested in history. I'm a huge history buff. I love reading about, I love reading about, you know, number one, I love a good heroic story, whether it's fictitious or historical. And then I love reading about the roots of, you know, this country, where its people came from and what, you know, their history was. You know, you're, as they say, you're doomed to repeat history if you don't learn from it. And it's just, you know, a lot going in there. My mom actually went to Scotland once and she was really into like William Wallace and all of them and Robert the Bruce and all this kind of stuff. And she actually saw the statue over there of him. It's really cool. I wish I could have seen that. But yeah, it's funny because I did not watch that film recently. I had seen it years ago. And I was telling my friend tonight, I think I saw it on TV. So when I did go back today just to watch some of the highlight clips of like when the battle is going to start, I was like, oh, there's probably a reason why I saw it on TV and not on film. And we kind of discussed some of the scenes that came about. I was like, oh, okay.
In the beginning.
I'm like, well, you know.
With Moran.
You can subscribe to VidAngel and you can cut all that stuff out.
Right. Well, you know, I just kind of didn't think about it. I am very careful with what I watch, and I don't know. I guess I just didn't think about it, know about it, whatever. But yeah, VidAngel is pretty awesome. But I was just this really doesn't have much to do with the film in its entirety. But if anybody else is a history buff, I was just, when they had the funeral scene early on with kids, I just kind of wonder, I saw them making the sign of the cross, and just for historical accuracy, I was wondering if that, because weren't they still pagan at that time? I don't know if they would be doing a Catholic service. I'm not sure. I was just, something that caught my attention because I love anthropology. So I was just kind of wondering if that was an inaccuracy. I don't know. And not a big deal to the film. I don't care either way. It was just something that caught my interest or attention. So if anybody knows, let me know.
I think it's historically accurate with the monks and the friars being in Scotland and Ireland.
I know, but these were the hill folk. And so I don't know if they would have been accepting of English, you know, religious standards. I just, something, like I said, that caught my attention. I was kind of surprised to see, again, just because I think they were still pagans considered pagans at the time. And I just don't think, especially with the war going on with England and all these different things, or the discrepancies and the ill blood between Ireland and England, I just don't know if they would have been doing the sign of the cross in their lands, since they were all about preserving the ways of old Scotland.
What you got to find out is the time period of St. Patrick. When did he get over to Ireland
I know, and I didn't take the time today. I didn't have the time to do my research. I just thought I was like, I'm just going to throw that question out there and see what I get back.
Sure.
Going fishing.
There you go. That's good. I just want to say everything that Tabitha said is what I said. So.
Right, I just paraphrased you. I hope you can, accept the fact that I was just stealing your words.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, I'll try to be more creative next time.
Braveheart is my favorite all-time movie.
Yes, mine too.
Not mine.
It's okay.
I mean, I still like it. I'm not saying it's a terrible movie by any means. I mean, it's a fantastic film.
Let's just face the facts. These are nostalgic to my brother and I because we grew up with all this stuff. So we're going to say it's the best, no matter what. Of course. Yeah. Because we just think it's the best, and we think Mel Gibson is the best. So even if he's in a crappy movie, we still think, hey, that's the best.
Hey, Mel Gibson's in it. No, he has been in a couple of crappy movies.
Darn it! If he wasn't in the sequel movies of Star Wars, he could have saved it. Apparently,
right?
The way that you guys talk.
Hey, if he was just in it, it would have made it the best.
Magically,
that's right. Mel Gibson, if he wrote and directed all 3 sequels, it would have been the best.
It would have been the best.
It would have been bloody and gory.
Better than George Lucas's. Yeah.
It would have been better than George.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we like George Lucas. He's a good creative person, but his directing style is, a little.
I don't know. He's a bajillionaire, so I wouldn't give him too hard of a time.
Well, no, I mean, I wouldn't either. But,
but he's not Mel Gibson. I get it.
I'd be like,
I get it.
Hey, I just want to say, Phil, you're right. Tabitha did say it better than me, but she still, took the words out of my mouth.
Right. I used his words against him or for him.
That's great. Love it. Next.
Hey, I just want to touch.
Yeah, touch on
Maria said a good historical film is Amazing Grace.
That is true.
Maria is so true. My brother and I did a review on it. It's
a review.
A review.
We did a review.
French on us. We're talking about Scots, not French.
I'm done.
We did a review on that, Maria. Go check it out. It's a good review.
Yeah, we laugh.
If you do say so yourself.
That's about it.
It's like Mystery Science Theater 3000.
That's right. One day we'll have those.
Well, if you check all our reviews, we're pretty much laughing all the time. We're just happy people.
All right. The Patriot. You ready?
Yeah,
I'm going to make this real quick because I got to go. And then you guys can make fun of me. You guys can make fun of me.
This film's better than Braveheart.
Go.
Okay. The Patriot is the best.
You're done.
Wait a minute, I thought you said Braveheart. I don't think there was any campfires.
Hello.
Yes.
There was. Yeah, that's right, because he was melting the pewter. I'm sorry, my mistake. I'll just sit back.
A lot of campfires in the Patriot. What is wrong with you, Tab?
So just have a fire in the film.
Freedom.
Like the film.
Mel Gibson and a fire equals brilliance.
That's right. And waving the American flag. That was my
very
favorite
patriotic. Scenes. Josh Putney says, "Love the Patriot. Watch it yearly around 4th of July."
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
And we're not talking
watch it
about
the day before you vote.
In case anybody knows, we're not talking about Steven Seagal's The Patriot.
No, we're not. Steven, not saying there's nothing wrong with Steven Seagal, but
he does comedy too.
Yeah, that's right.
No, he doesn't.
The movie he was in, and I loved it because he was only in it for like 5 minutes.
His acting skills are. That's why they're like the films.
That's
really
why he's a comical.
But that's why I watch them.
Okay, so The Patriot is a great movie. Very patriotic.
The end.
3 minutes. No.
I love that 30. Movie.
Braveheart is a great movie. It's about a guy who's brave. Like that.
The Patriot is awesome.
You got it, Tabitha. You got it. My wisdom astounds you, doesn't it? So I will have to say, I do love the father sons.
Oh, there's more father-son stuff.
Yes, I love the
father-son.
The father-son roles in The Patriot. You know, I cried a lot in that movie. When I think about it.
That was a good movie.
I did too.
But who wants to see Heath Ledger die? I don't.
Yeah, no one does.
I'm all right.
No one did want to die.
He died very dramatically, and it was good. He went down shooting the bad guy.
Okay.
Well, and he failed.
I thought you were talking about real life for a second.
Right.
I was like, what happened?
Well, you know, either
to a dark
way,
place,
no one wants to see him die.
It's like, okay.
It's all the same. It could be real.
Am I real?
We don't.
Heath Ledger was a great actor.
We're in the Matrix.
Sucks that he died.
He was. I loved him in A Knight's Tale.
Oh, that was a good movie.
That was a good movie.
But not as good as The Patriot.
That was a hilarious movie.
Not as good.
That was hilarious.
It's too bad he passed away after making The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
What about 10 Things I Hate About You?
I think you should have just stopped with, it was a shame he passed away. Otherwise, it sounds like, we only wanted him for,
The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight.
Or the Joker.
Nice.
That's good stuff.
Why so serious?
3 minutes are up.
What? The Patriot. Very patriotic. Great movie.
Fire.
Patriotic. July 4th.
Blood.
Watch it. Yeah.
Blood, yeah.
Blood, guts, bravery, courage. Everything you guys are going to say and make fun of me later. Okay. Well,
count on it.
I
mean,
signing off from inside the booth. I'll see you all another time, another place.
Bye-bye, brother.
Dan, just click me out, because if I touch something, I might turn everybody off.
Okay. So. Bye.
Oh, good. Now we can really talk about what we want to say.
All right.
There we are. Okay.
And that was my first experience with David.
First impressions are everything.
They are.
I look forward to the next time. He's funny.
He's a good man. He's a good man.
So would anybody care to elaborate on what he just eloquently said?
Let's how about we just
what else is there to say?
Yeah, that's right. There's really not much else to say. My brother,
Man of few words.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so Matthew, it would be your turn. Now the zigzag is gone. We're gonna have to
circle back like Jen Psaki.
That's right.
So my Patriot, the year 2000 film, directed by Roland Emmerich, who also did the films of Independence Day, Day After Tomorrow, and 10,000 BC. He also did other things, but those are the top three that I saw. So a farmer who's passed up with brutal wars, has a family who wants to have a better life than he did, but the rise of war again is kindled to fight against the British and win freedom from them. First, he doesn't want to do anything to do with it because of his pacifist, new living mentality. Because of his son joining and then being killed, vengeance is kindled within him. He fights and wins many victories with guerrilla warfare tactics. He has to choose freedom or slavery to England, even after losing his eldest son. He chooses the latter and keeps walking forward in life at the end of the film, which I thought was great. I thought when I first saw the film, I thought he was actually going to die. I'm like, oh, another time where he sacrifices his life. But that does not happen. And then I always write, quote, I always write, the best quote in the film almost happens at the end. Why do men feel they can justify death? Is it arrogance, or I have long feared that my sins would return to visit me, and the cost is more than I can bear? That just gave me like goosebumps when I saw that film again. I heard that, I'm like, whoa. So I thought this film was brilliant in its writing as well as Braveheart. But yeah, so I give it 2 thumbs up. I don't think it wins over Braveheart in my opinion, but I definitely thought it comes in second in my opinion out of these 3 films.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely a good one. Definitely is.
And that's pretty much what all I got for that one. Ended a little early, but yeah.
No, that's all right. If you went early, it's okay. Yeah, so there we go. There we have it.
I get his extra time.
Yeah,
That's
there
right.
you go. You can take up this extra time.
Oh, I will.
All right.
I love.
How much extra time was that? That's the question. Like
I got an extra.
Well,
like,
I'm also going to
minute,
get David's as well. I'm just going to go ahead and stake claim there.
Okay. There you go. That's
extra
right.
2.5 minutes.
Shotgun, you know.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna start now. So I love this movie as well as I love Braveheart. This was made in the year 2000, which was a good year for me. Did not graduate high school yet, but you know, it was still a good year. I don't know. I just love the movie. You know, I love
Irrelevant facts. I love it.
Yeah, I know. That's right. I just love the time period. You know, I think that's one of my reasons why I love these types of movies. Definitely love the historical scenes and stuff, and then obviously from there you kind of read about what really happened and stuff, and you know, kind of gets your interest in history, really.
Yeah, for sure.
And definitely the whole point of being free from tyranny is definitely one of those things that you just
never
like,
gets old.
Yeah, that's right. It never gets old.
Never gets old.
I think that honestly, I think the graphics still hold up to today. Because I love everything the scene where. Yeah, well, you know, like the computer graphics that they did use were like the little, like in that window scene where he's looking out, right? And those little people are little computer graphic people, and you really can't tell. And back in 2000, computer graphics was not the best, but yet for some reason, in the 90s and in the 2000s, these movies still hold up in their graphics, and
when you use it sparingly, yes, I agree.
Yeah, use sparingly. Definitely a good way. But yeah, you know, I love the whole father-son dynamic. I love, you know, he's got more than one son, obviously, and he's got a daughter. I love the scene. Made me cry when the daughter's like, "Don't go," you know, and he's holding her, and finally speaks. Oh man, that teared me up. So you're not a real man if you don't cry. And let me tell you what.
There's some truth
real
to that.
man
Jesus
cries,
wept,
boys.
You know?
That's right. That's right.
True.
I mean, that's another movie we could have talked about because Mel Gibson directed it, but The Passion.
I was like, Jesus wept.
Yeah,
I can't imagine that selling out at the box office. Come
well, if
see
Mel
it,
Gibson directed it, it probably would be.
Right, and Campfires and Sticks. I got you.
That's right. I just love this movie. Just saying.
Yes.
Love this movie. So go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but go ahead.
This movie is by far a billion times better than Braveheart, even though Braveheart is a billion times better than most any other movie.
I don't know about that. I don't know, but go ahead. Keep going.
So my reason for saying so is, I mean, if we're gonna like nitpick, honestly, I feel like both movies are honestly pretty equal because they both are. I think it's almost like William Wallace just reincarnated in a different language. Not just because it's played by Mel Gibson, of course, but I mean, again, it's the whole thing. Bloody English are coming for us again, and we got to take care of this. So,
that's right. Well, he's American this time. Come on,
right?
He doesn't have that horrible Scottish accent.
The reason that I prefer this film above Braveheart is simply because it's an American theme, simply because it's just a wonderful movie showing a lot of the harsh reality of what our country had to go through in order to become what it is.
To become free.
Yes, you have haunted heroes like Mel Gibson's character, where he fought in the French Indian War, and he did what he had to do, and he would hope that he'd never have to do it again, and he would never want to see his sons and his children have to live through that. And I love in the beginning of the film when they're all together and they're like,
I'm gonna say one thing: The Last of the Mohicans is a good movie.
It is.
That's about the French and Indian War.
That's right.
All right, so
you see Mel Gibson running in the woods. He just never got credited.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
Right, non-credited role. But again, so in the beginning, when they're all in it's not really parliament, I'm not sure, when they're gathered together deciding should they go to war, should they not, and he's kind of in the middle ground. Like, yes, he's heroic and he stands for truth and all that kind of stuff, but if there's an alternative, let's find it. And honestly, I know that the rest of the world, or a lot, let me rephrase that, a lot of the rest of the world would at one time see America as a very bloodthirsty kind of nation. And it's not true. We do try to find alternatives to our conflicts before having to sometimes engage in war, depending, of course, on who is in leadership. That's just how it is. And I come from a military family, so this speaks to me on a great level. Knowing what people have to sacrifice in order for other people to live comfortably, I get it. And it's not something a lot of people can really understand unless they live through it. And that's another reason. So, I mean, my father really instilled in us the sense of patriotism, and that the fact that there are sacrifices to be made, but the country and for the future, it is so worth it. And then my mother eventually became an American citizen, and she probably was the proudest person in that room. I mean, she had a vest on that had this, like, the American flag draped all over it and spangles. And I mean, she was just beaming. And so just from the storyline aspect, this is why I prefer The Patriot over Braveheart. But as far as both films are concerned, I really find them on an equal plane, just because, again, it's about freedom. It's about fighting for what's right. It's about sacrifice. It's about making hard decisions that people cannot understand in order for them to have a better life. And and let me just say, like,
you would like We Were Soldiers too, huh? Mel Gibson.
I've seen that, and I do. I there's quite a few, Saving Private Ryan, all of these kinds of The Longest Day.
You seen Hacksaw Ridge? Man, that's a good one.
I have.
And directed by Mel Gibson.
my dad has made us watch. I say made. My dad has watched pretty much every war movie there is, like from John Wayne's era up till now, and so we just kind of grew up with that as well. And it's just, let me tell you though, that scene gets me every time. Like, who doesn't love a man that looks manly, charging into the fray while carrying the American flag? Like, just...
Yeah. And this is coming from a woman, everybody.
I'm just telling you, I love this country.
Real women like real men.
Real women love freedom, and I love this film for what it stands for. Kind of like, to paraphrase Gina Carano from The Other Night, freedom, bleeping freedom. Yes.
That's good.
And
I like that.
Yeah, you can paraphrase her there. We don't speak the same language.
Right, that's right.
But I love her patriotism. That's one reason why I'm a fan. But so that's I really love what this movie represents. It also because of the fact that, we were talking about movies that have the racial jokes in them to try to make light of our situations around the world for, things that happen that we have no control over. And then in this film, you see the progression of what America was meant to be, to become a more perfect union. So when they have that, I don't know the name of the guy, but the black actor that was in there, and he was, he got into the war, and he was
freedom. Yep.
and he was belittled by the other people. But when he chose to stand up and, against the opposition, those bullies eventually looked at him and said, "I respect you. I am proud to stand with you." And that just makes me that gets me emotional, because it's like, that is America. And that is what this country stands for. And not everybody will be on board with that necessarily, as far as you're always going to have jerks in the world. Yeah, and those people don't represent America, because the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence are very clear about what this country stands for. It is, it's kind of, honestly, it's kind of like the Bible, is that people are judging Jesus based on what other people are saying, not about what God says about Jesus. And that's the same way with America. Exactly. And so I could go on forever about how much I love America. I am very passionate. You will never hear me apologize for being America. I am sorry for some of the stuff that our country does in the name of freedom, which it's not. But I will never apologize for being an American. I love this country.
That's awesome.
Amen.
And that's why I think the Patriot's better than Braveheart.
Gotcha. Awesome.
All right.
Well, there you have it. I think we got.
But I was just using David's words.
Yeah, of course. Those were David's words.
I was
Didn't
just
you
using
hear him?
David's words. Freedom.
We all heard him say exactly what you said. Yeah. So who wins? What wins? I think Braveheart and the Patriot, I guess.
But the Maverick
tied,
really can't
Ding,
stand
ding.
up to Braveheart and the Patriot, because it's a whole other genre.
It is. We should have picked, a different genre too, but that's okay. I mean, all three were manly men.
Well, I think it's nice to be able to see that Mel Gibson can be versatile in his acting abilities.
Sure.
I do. I think he was really brilliant in the Maverick, just because when you gave me the list of the films we were supposed to talk about, I'm like, man, we got Braveheart and the Patriot. That's heavy. And then you gave me the Maverick, and I didn't know what that was going to be. So when I saw it was a Western, I'm like, oh, okay. And then I started watching, I'm like, no, this is not what I thought it was going to be at all. So seeing your brain just kind of transfer what you thought of Mel Gibson.
Right. Exactly. And Josh Putney says, winner should be determined by which film had more campfires.
That might be Maverick.
Yes.
There were quite a few campfires in there.
Yep. Everybody likes a little bit of fire.
I know I do.
All right. That's right.
All right.
But yeah, it was interesting.
Yes. So that's I guess that's it, right? We're done talking to everybody.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! That's right. All right. So everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you for showing up. Thank you, Dreaming Tabitha, for coming on. And
Thank you for having me.
Hey, you're welcome anytime. We'll talk about that later. Right. But yes, boom. Right here, everybody.
Boom.
Go to Inside. Yeah, go to her. Her thing's better.
Yeah, there you go.
But we got to promote our stuff on it. Too, That's right. But we got to promote our stuff too.
Right.
InsideTheBoothTV.com/shop. Get yourself something. If you like what we do, that helps us to generate revenue so that nobody has to be a volunteer anymore. So help us by helping you by getting cool mugs.
Freedom.
Yeah, that's
help me help you.
Freedom. If you like freedom, we'll
buy a mug.
Buy a mug. That's right. We also have
that should be on a t-shirt.
Yeah, that's right. We also got t-shirts, neck gaiters. What else?
If you like freedom, buy a mug.
Buy a mug inside the booth. I like
That's
it.
Right.
Do it.
That's right. And you can put some good freedom coffee inside that.
That's right.
Good American free coffee. Well,
unless
not that
you like Colombian,
free, Yeah, that's right. Unless you like Colombian coffee or Jamaican coffee. So thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
You go to Florida,
Have
New
a
York.
good night.
Bye. And may
We
the
will
force
talk
be with
to
you.
guys.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you later. Thanks for coming on. We'll see you on Tuesday with another something or other that we're doing. And then next Sunday, we're doing another thing. Remember, Tuesdays and Sundays, everybody, 9 p.m.
we do things on here.
So.
Right. Really great.
Right. They like to air they keep an air of mystery around it, you know.
That's right. That's right. So that you guys can come back and be like, well,
Keep
what are they
coming back
talking
for
about
more.
today?
Right.
That's good
Just
stuff.
something. Right. Campfires, sticks.
That's right.
Yes.
We're gonna have to do that sometime soon. Just go on.
Blood and freedom. Amen.
I'll go outside in a campfire and use my phone and do this. That'd be fun.
I'm really hoping that somebody does.
We all
Not even
should.
gonna
We all
lie.
should.
That'd be great.
Yes, Josh Putney. They're doing all the things.
All the things.
All
What
the
things you might ask? All of them.
all
Come back to see those things.
Right. That's a Chuck Norris joke in the making.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
Again, let's say goodbye.
Oh, sorry.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.